I don't know if the direction of the world is just heading towards more and more toxicity, or people just don't know how to handle or navigate through toxic bosses, toxic workplace cultures, or what exactly is going on. But on occasion, I receive questions from viewers and people that follow me on LinkedIn and things like that. And I just kind of dump them into a little bit of a queue. I have not done a good enough job of creating content around some of these questions. So, for the theme of toxicity, dealing with toxic bosses or unhealthy workplace cultures, things like that, I've pulled together a few questions that I'm going to go through and hopefully be able to provide some guidance and help some of you that might be going through something similar. First question. How can I keep my team motivated when leadership above us is toxic? I think the first thing we have to start to figure out is leadership above us actually toxic, or are they in over their head? Are they undeveloped as leaders? Do they not know how to manage projects or handle pressure? There's a few different things that could potentially be creating to this perspective that you have of senior leadership being toxic. The way I like to approach this is first seeking to understand. This means you have to check your ego and have an uncomfortable or crucial conversation with senior leadership and asking them the questions of, can you help me understand this? The team is struggling with all of these projects you just keep crushing us with. I need to understand what the real priority is. And they might actually open up and share that all of the weight is coming down on them from the most senior leadership. All right, now you have a little bit of an understanding and you can view these conversations and situations through a lens of maybe empathy. So you have a little bit more context. Now you've got to have another conversation with the people on your team and helping them understand exactly what's going on. When you have those conversations, you can share with them, yeah, Joe is not really toxic. He's under a tremendous amount of pressure and stress. And I think if we work through this project, this initiative, and get it through to completion, it might take a little bit of pressure off of his back and make all of our lives a little bit easier. The struggle you're going to face is the people on your team have likely been experiencing a lot of pressure. They are also frustrated and struggling themselves. So when you have this conversation of, hey, we're going to take ownership, we're going to make it better, we're going to solve these problems together, you might get some resistance, which is unfortunate, but this is what strong leaders do. They seek to understand all of the dynamics and variables at play. They find the silver lining that always exists, and they build a plan. They corral the troops, they get everybody on board, and they start moving forward. Not an easy thing to do, but when you do this enough times, you will start to build a brand and reputation for solving problems, for helping others, for lifting people up. And on a long enough time horizon, that brand will start to permeate. You will start to have a reputation for Sean as the problem solver. If we have an issue, let's go to Sean. He's going to help us figure out how to navigate through it. Now, that's putting even more stress on you. Welcome to leadership. But you have to view this through a lens of what can I learn? How can I help my team get to a better place? And when you enter a conversation in a room full of people that are always focused on negativity, and you are the light, you are that beacon of hope, and you come to the table with solutions and help them build, implement, and achieve an ideal outcome, then people will start to get into a better headspace. This, and I can't stress this enough, this feels extremely frustrating. And the silver lining for you is you now have this opportunity to learn how to navigate through these uncomfortable, frustrating, and challenging situations. And when you learn that, then you can share those lessons with those around you. You have to lean into optimism. You have to build people up as much as you possibly can. Next question. How do I know when it's time to leave a toxic culture instead of trying to fix it? Oh, that is the question. If you have spent as much time as possible truly trying to navigate through the environment, truly trying to help everybody else out, and the weight is just too crushing for you. If you find that for periods of months or even years, it is just this eternally negative headspace that everybody is in, you're losing sleep, your health is suffering, then it's time for you to have a very real conversation with yourself and ask, does it make sense for me to go somewhere else? This is a difficult conversation to have, especially if you have a team of people that is counting on you, that trusts you and respects you, and that if you leave, you know it's going to put them in a more challenging space, because then they will be left to fend for themselves. The thing that helped me was approaching this with the mindset of, I have to do what's best for my health. Because if I can't bring my best self forward, then I'm not doing any favors for anybody else on the team. So maybe it's time for me to go do something else, to build something else that's meaningful and build it so massive that I'm able to bring those people along with me, that I'm able to pull them out of this toxic working environment. I actually did that exact thing over a decade ago. I had reached my absolute limit with the company that I was working for, and I had to go somewhere else. And when I went somewhere else, I started pulling those people from my team that I could into a better working environment. It has to start with you. If your health is suffering, if you find yourself, again, sleepless nights, you're getting sick all the time, you can't eat, you're losing weight or gaining weight, you have to do what's best for you. Now, I'm not saying going and finding another job is easy, but you do have to do what's best for you. Final question. How can I rebuild trust and confidence if I've been in a toxic culture for a very long time? Man, this is tough. Because if you've been in this toxic culture for a long enough period of time, you have likely been sucked down into the bottom of the abyss. And to claw your way back out is not an easy task. The thing that has helped me the most is to surround myself with people that lean into positivity. They lean into optimism. They lean into humor. And what happens is you will have conversations with these people, and you will find that as you walk away, you're in a little bit better headspace. When you find those people, do everything you can to spend as much time around them as possible, because they are the ones that can help pull you out of that dark place. Again, it's not going to be easy, but when you surround yourself with others that are focused on leveling each other up, on pushing each other to be better, on holding each other accountable, you will be better. And you will find yourself in a better headspace. Now, if after doing that, you still are struggling, living in this black hole, it might be time to go find someplace else. Again, not easy to do, But if you do go find that place, your confidence will immediately spring back. So you have to find out ultimately what's best for you. Is this not good for my health? If so, you have to start taking actions on getting yourself into a better headspace and getting yourself into a healthy working environment. The challenge with this is it seems like every company in the world is a crap place to work. At least that's the perception that is floated around on social media. And if you believe that, then of course that's what you're going to find. But there are good companies out there. There are companies that have a positive working environment, that the leadership actually genuinely cares. No, they're not easy to find, but that speaks to why it's so important for you to have a good personal brand, for you to market yourself so that it makes it that much easier for you to go find a job working for a company that actually values and appreciates you. This is a really tough place to be in. I mean, all of these questions, they hit home because I've lived it before. And the answer for me was starting a company focused on leadership development, coaching, and building high-performing teams. Now, starting a company is no easy feat by any stretch of the imagination, but I've found what works for me. Each and every one of you have to find what works for you.